Monday, the 2nd of October. I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of viewers and listeners wherever you are around the world. You are logged and loaded for another episode of Voices. My name is Socrates, host of today's presentation. And we're going to first pause to give credit to our sponsors before we get into the nitty-gritty of today's presentation. So, as David from back in the day used to say, see you on the other side.
Yes?
Jean!
Oh, this beer's hot, boy. I can't take it.
Well, it's a good thing I called. The TDC Home and Building Depots are having their Cool 'em Down sale, and you're sure to get 25% discount on fans, AC units, coolers, fridges, and more to beat this heat.
Girl, Betty, you're making joke.
No, girl. Stop sweating and let's go to the store now.
Come pick me up, because may want to miss this sale at TDC Home and Building Depot.
Cool. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Welcome back to our viewers and listeners. Let's first deal with some salutations, starting with Mr. Ambassador Chris Collins up there in Sheffield, I believe. He claims that it's the best place in the world, not even in the UK, to live. I would say we'll take your feed. So good morning to all of you viewers and listeners. We want to say top of the morning to Peter Williams over there in Antigua, Beulah down there in St. Paul's, Morvet in Keon. I know you've been going through a sad stretch. We want to say condolences to all those folks who would have lost loved ones, those who are celebrating. We're also with you. We want to extend condolences to David Brandy and family on the passing of his mom this morning. David Brandy is the president of the WINNMedia Taxi Association, one of my close colleagues, and he called me this morning to let me know. So I'm just sharing the information for all those in the taxi fraternity. Please reach out to Mr. Brandy, extend what you will on the passing of his mom. May I remind you that, I was reminded that this October is the month of the elderly. I was given a call by Ms. Pat, which is leader, who would have made attempts to come on the program, but because she's extremely busy in caring for her clients, she can't make it physically. So later on this morning, we're hoping to engage her in a conversation. It's the month of the elderly. We ask those who are in position to care for their elderly, if they have any concerns, we can call and have a chit-chat. I've been advocating for some time for them to, when I say them, the government or the powers that be, to designate handicap parking areas, for lack of a better word. Mobility challenge citizens, we are developing progressive nation, and I think the time is due for us to put accommodations for the elderly who need parking in areas close to where they have to go and pay their bills, seek medical attention, stuff like that. We can do that because it's within our power to do so, right? I want to say good morning to Rosemary Donald up there in New York. also the bag of sugar. And to Jennifer Richards over there in Atlanta. Saw a picture of her a couple of years ago. I know when she's living in Atlanta. Mr. Valentine Monish, Dr. Mervyn Leader, Dr. Sweeney, the whole crew up there, of course, Culture, and the folks who are constant callers to this program that makes it possible. I don't have any particular topic today, but I would like to spend some time speaking about the elderly and for those who are, senior caregivers. So the lines are actually open. It's 662-0989, 466-0989, 762-0989 for those who want to engage in any aspect of today's topic. Of course, it's called Voices, and though we may digress from what's on the table, we still ask that we keep it civil and we keep it within certain time limits so we can get as many persons as possible to call in. Ms. Pat Leader Richards was supposed to be on this morning, but challenges. The priority is given to the folks in her care, and she indicated she had a very rough week. But hopefully we can get her on the line and get some perspective as to what's happening in the world of the elderly, those senior caregivers, our parents, our grandparents, folks who are no longer able to fend for themselves and are dependent on family members to do so. We know the challenges that you're facing with the program some years ago about who takes care of the caregivers, because you actually extend yourself to give care sometimes to persons who are afflicted by Alzheimer's, not in their right mind, and it's a challenge. There are no known formula to deal with every case. It's not a one-size-fits-all. So we would like to hear from you what you have to say on this matter. There's that, and there was the issue with the ambassador Natter and all the fallout from that. My own spin on that is that it's a human situation, and nobody can predict how they would react when family members are threatened or attacked. My thing was, the gentleman reacted, he apologized, move on. It's not something that we should be dwelling on. We have much more important issues to address. Of course, we are quick with our cameras to capture what's happening and post it around the globe, regardless of the consequences. It's a human situation. If my child or your child is being threatened in any way, shape, or form, there is no rule book as to how you're supposed to respond. Being human, instinct, whatever it is, causes you to react in defensively. Some may see it as negatively because you have a position and you're supposed to. It's supposed to rain sometimes and it don't. We have to live with it. As a matter of fact, on my way here this morning, I had to step quickly because there seemed to be a shower coming down from the mountains. So I would say downtown Bass is a bit overcast and with some intermittent showers, which we need. So we count the blessings and we move forward. Carl Brown, I have an apology to make. Well, not really apology. We had a discussion and the question was asked about the increase in price money for the various categories, mainly for the Calypsonians. And I said that I heard that it was increased to 25,000. I attended a meeting on Saturday, and I was wrong. So for all the folks who listen out there to Socrates saying, oh, it's now increased from 20 to 25, it's 20. It went from 15 to 20. Jamster says it's not bad. Jamster, were you here on the last presentation when I spoke about, comparisons to 35 years ago, what the prices were? So it's not bad. It's a start. Mm-hmm. So the link from 15 to 15, it went from 15 to 20. And so somebody fed me information that it had gone to 25. And I was saying, yeah, at least. So for Carl Brown and the folks who would have heard me say that the prize money is number to 25,000, my apologies. Need to trust but verify. So Jamster say it ain't bad, so who am I? I'm going to leave it there. So those are the issues. It's Monday morning. We're in the studios of WINNFM 98.9, and we're doing a presentation of voices. Salutations apart. We want to wish all the folks who are out there going through their moments of bereavement. We commiserate with you. It's not easy losing a loved one, especially a senior member of the family. And we take things for granted. Everybody grieves differently. I know of a lady who, within 1 week, lost her mom and her aunt. Very close to them. And of course, I met her downtown. We were talking. You can see she wanted to talk unburdened because you can't contain that amount of pressure. And I understood what she was going through. So, for the lady from Keon, whose name I won't mention at the moment, we're hoping that you would have found the strength to deal with the issue, the very sad situation of having to lose your mom and your aunt within the same week. And we open the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're first up at the bat. Welcome to the program.
Hello.
Good morning. Welcome to the program.
After a long vacation, good morning, the king.
With respect, culture back in the house.
How you do, man?
Not too bad for an old man.
Oh, no. That is when you go down in the hole.
Really?
When you go down in the hole or when you're old.
You got a point. I won't argue that.
Be careful with them point. Them pointers go out the sight, you know.
Point go out of sight.
You be careful where you push them point.
Always culture. Talk to me. Monday morning.
A lot of them not visible. Eh?
How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing good physically, mentally, spiritually.
Okay.
Everything Lee. Even Kong, even Wang Lee.
You got it covered.
Now, I want to say something. Now, when someone has been chosen or selected to represent their country, we have to always carry that awareness of responsibility, because there is a comment or statement that we made when we let our emotion take control of us. And you know what the statement is? If I didn't know.
Yep.
But we always know. So therefore, when certain things happen, we should remember, but I could do him this, I could do this, you know. But is what can happen? You know, a lot of men kill woman, kill the girlfriend or wife or whosoever it is because of who they see them talking to and they feel like what they feel like. When they don't know, they go and lick out the finger and say, oh God, look what you do nobody. Look, why you never walk away? Walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, some people will say, oh, you're coward, you're chicken, you run. But they can't stop you from going behind the walls when you don't do what you do, you know.
Understand?
Now I'm going to show you something. Years ago, when Dr. Simmons was in office, he was the Prime Minister, and Labour was out. The night before this thing happened, I hear Dr. Douglas at a meeting up by 5 ways. He said, don't send all your children to school tomorrow. Bring them tongue. Let it demonstrate and take out Dr. Simmons. Listen me carefully. He never said throw battle and stone. His people take it up on the emotions and fling battle and stone. Now, Dr. Simmons was the leader, he was the Prime Minister. He could have let his emotions run with him, and he could have come down and fling back battle and stone too. But he know the position that he held in the country, and if he did go and do that, where that would have put him as the leader of the country. So all of us, when we get vexed, doesn't matter what, we have to look beyond when this thing happened. Look beyond. Because many men, many persons in prison right now, they say, boy, I should have walked away, I should have never do this.
Understandably so.
So anyway, that gone. Some time ago, the hunks called in and he was talking about something when he was, a representative went St. Thomas to represent here. The guy who beat hunks in the ring, he from Trafalgar. I went to the first fight he had when he come down there. And the announcer said, this is the Sinkist boxing champion. It was for independence.
Okay.
And he was fighting against a papa. You know, we call the Puerto Ricans papa.
Mm-hmm.
And in the first round, the Puerto Rican knocked out the mouthpiece. And before he let the referee pick up the mouthpiece and stop the fight, he leave the boxer, his opponent went over in the corner to go pick up the mouthpiece and can't get it in him out. And the man, the pelting blows in his side. I tell you, I was so shame. So shame of he. I said, why you don't do that, the man? You're embarrassing.
Because he was representing the Federation.
Exactly. Representation, It has a lot of responsibility, and people should always be aware of what you're carrying on your shoulders. Anyway, I had enough, so let someone else come in. Thank you very much.
Okay. I appreciate that. Go ahead. It's gone. Okay. Sorry that you got cut off. We lost your signal. Anyway, on the issue of Dr. Simmons and that issue where you said they were pelting bottle and stones and he could have reacted differently, I know from a senior police officer that Dr. Simmons gave instructions that not one shot be fired. The army was gearing up. They were within the right to defend the government at that level, and Dr. Simmons gave the instructions that not one shot be fired. And that is one of the reasons he's respected. Okay? Because had the military reacted as they were probably wanted to do, the stigma, the stain, because I know there was headlines printed in advance that there was blood running in the street of St. Kitts. He did not let it happen. So I understand the responsibility you must have when you hold certain office. And I understand the whole issue that revolves around Ambassador NATO. But I'm saying it's not to the magnitude that we can just heap condemnation. Every one of us have it within us to control ourselves, but sometimes it's just unfortunate when you lose your temper. Had it been me, Jamster, somebody else whose child has been threatened or whatever, I'm not sure how they would react. So I give him, I'm going to be hands off with this. It happened. The gentleman apologized. Let's move on. We go back to the phone lines. Call your live on voices. Caller, are you there? Okay, we're going to pause at this point to give kudos and credit to our sponsors and be right back. Okay?
Magnum. Take charge, take charge, take charge, take charge, take charge. Everybody put a Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, let me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. He are a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
50,000?
50,000?
$50,000? Win big with TDC. Win up to $50,000 cash in the TDC Mega Rewards Mega Raffle. To enter, you must be a Mega Rewards member or sign up to TDC Mega Rewards Loyalty Program. Shop at our TDC retail stores or online at shoptdcgroup.com to receive one entry for every $250 spent. Draws take place from July to November. Win $10,000 every month with your entry rolled over so you can win, and win even more.
Yes, this is 50.
Terms and conditions apply.
We're back with the program. Do we go straight to the phone lines? That is yet. Okay, we're standing by for a call from Mrs. Pat Leader. She's the manager of the Grange, and because of the challenges she's facing in terms of the care, her clients, she can't make it in physically. But we are hoping to get a call from her to give us an update on what's happening in her world, the challenges of supplying that quality care service to her clients, residents down at the Grange. It is the month of the elderly, so if you can get some contributions as to how we reverence or not our elders in the society, that would be good. I was making a call again for consideration for the elders in terms of giving designated parking areas for those who have to come into the city to pay bills. They have mobility problems. They have to get people to drive them to a certain point and park and walk. And those challenges, we can have that discussion and look at putting parking areas downtown for the elderly. We go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning, 11 Voices.
Good morning, the King.
Carl Brown. Boy,
Yes, sir.
I gave you some bad information over the weekend. Just to say the prize money was 25,000, isn't still 20. So my apologies.
Okay. Yes. On to some matters.
You're too close to your radio. I mean, we're hearing the radio in the background, so walk away, please.
Oh, no. That's it, Stevie. Let me turn it down.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's hear you.
Yes, on some matters. Yes, many years ago, we had set out on a program for making accessible easier for the disabled. One of the things that I complained about many years ago, and even before they brought up the making of
wheelchair ramps,
accessible on the sidewalks and stuff for the disabled.
Yep.
I continue to complain on talk shows that lots of people now seems to be running in a 2 and 3 storage building upstairs. They're not thinking about the disabled, how the disabled is going to get there, and these buildings don't have no elevators.
You're correct.
Right? And they are putting their businesses upstairs. And because of that continuous call and demand, and you could say protest, government headquarters went and put in an elevator.
Okay.
Right? But the other thing is, King, concerning the disabled, you realize the disabled don't have no access to the banks, them?
Yeah, those institutions.
Was Royal Bank, because of my continuous call, they had make a way for the disabled ramp to go up, but then they lock off the door.
Door is closed, that's correct.
For security reasons, and you must go one door in and one door out. That was so shameful and highly disrespectful.
You're right. There's only one access, and that's up the steps. The one to the side, the ramp has been closed. You're so correct. That's by the ATM.
Yeah.
You're correct.
I mean, how could you do that? You're talking about security reasons. Why you think you make so much money off of us for? To do things like this, to make it accessible and easier for you to obtain more customers. Right? Because you got all kind of charges in the bank. And you're telling me you cannot find a way to make security more higher, more intense and more serious off of our profits? That was highly disrespectful of Royal Bank and others. And if you see most of these banks, and I don't know how they could love it, that one door in, one door out. The other
That's
door
more of a
is
hazard.
locked.
That's more of a hazard, if you ask me.
Yes, if there's a fire in the bank, how are you going to get out when you run to that door and the fire is by the door? So you're going to tell me that you're going to let all your customers burn up in that bank?
This is something that the fire department should look into.
What time they going to find the key to open that door with an intense fire for staff, customers, and security and everybody else to get out?
Well, maybe they have drills, but you have a point. Maybe the fire department. Okay.
I keep saying it all the time. Nobody look into this. The other thing is, King, and people get down on me for this year. Banks, where you have thousands of people on a daily basis, visit banks on a daily basis. They have no public bathrooms for the customers. And people telling me, oh, that's a standard all over the world. But how you're making a little store, a little barber shop, A little hair salon got toilets
Insist.
for customers.
Okay. Okay.
Now, hundreds of us in the bank on a Friday. You know, the young ladies. The monthly thing come now.
Don't
and
go
them
there.
unexpected.
Don't go there, Carl. Don't go there. Don't go
All of
there.
that, these are things you got to look at.
Yeah, but
Now, you in the bank, you got bad feeling, you want it. You want it on the ground, they gon' vex. Now, in the bathroom, you could have run in the bathroom and do all of that. You see all the things?
I get your
But
point.
they
I
will
get your
make
point.
A little bar, you open a little bar in your yard. Health department telling you must have a zinc, you must have a toilet, and we must come and inspect, and you must be to health standards. So what happened to the banks them? We're making millions of dollars off of us.
You remember Charles had a song some years ago called No Toilet?
Yes.
And that it's because all the businesses were saying that their facilities are for their customers. So you coming off the street, etc., etc., etc. So there was an issue in Trinidad also where a person from the public asked to use the bank facilities. And the bank said no. So it's not only in St. Kitts, it's something that should be looked at across the region. And today we talk about
easy. That could be easily thing. Those are the minor. Let's put a word in the dictionary. The minor matters to deal with.
Okay, the point is no modern building should be constructed today without those facilities, especially if you're dealing with the public.
Generator, fire escape, and bathroom for customers.
Okay.
And look at it, the king. The banks and the stores them in town don't have no access for the same persons that we are talking about, the disabled.
Yep.
Name it 3 stores in town, on Church Street, 4th Street, down on the Bay Road,
That have access.
where somebody in a wheelchair could get into.
I can't. The
Thank you
only
very
two that you
You know what
mentioned.
they have to do? Stay outside and send in Carl Brown and King Socrates and tell them pick up these for them.
Yes, that is why I was talking about the parking to parking for the disabled, so they can park in those areas and make it easy for them to address their businesses. We are in the month of the elderly, so this is quite appropriate at the time.
Yes, look at it. Not even Ram Supermarket, we have so much business around town, down the bay. How could a disabled person in a wheelchair get in there? You had to go cut the wheelchair to go pull
Isn't
it in.
Isn't there access ramp at Rams on the Bay Road? I think there's one.
I don't believe so.
During the
Remember
COVID,
they do some refurbishing, and
Yes.
they put you to go all the way up the road and you have to go up some steps to go in the door that open by itself.
okay, I'll have to double check on that one, but I thought there was a ramp
Yeah,
there.
and remember, when you're done shop, you have to come down here by the cashiers them and you go out the door there where you have to come down steps.
Okay. So they're listening. I mean, I'll put Camps area, Bird Rock is a lot easier
Not even courts,
on
none
the
of
same
them.
level.
There is no accessible ramp for the disabled with wheelchairs and all of that to get into them to do their own shopping.
But you did mention that years ago you started this campaign on behalf of the elderly and those who are
Yes.
handicapped. So it's a good thing that you've been on the ball then and you're still, so we do appreciate that. Right?
All right, the king, I'll be back.
You'll be back. I want to hear about the monkey situation when you come back.
Oh, sure. You know that's always my brain.
Okay, we don't have the call at the moment, but yes, the issues, the challenges for the elderly. We're in the month of the elderly. Actually, there's a Department of Aging, and I hope they're listening and should make this part of their agendas in dealing with the challenges of the elderly. Chris Collins, let's see what you have to say. Like you make the 2nd million over the weekend. What 2nd million, fellow? I broke it on to 10. Anyway, that 1,000. Chris Collins is right. That 1,000 Drew gave you really came in handy. Boy, he want to bring down the quality of. Oh yes, Carl sometimes goes off, but yeah, I checked him. It is a concern because apart from the Pelican Mall, where there are facilities around town. Some businesses now on 4th Street, well, Well, okay. The rituals, dominoes, they give access to the public, and one appreciates that. But the challenge is for those who are handicapped, so to speak, who are in wheelchairs, they cannot access it. I have somebody here who is a caregiver also. They said they're listening, and she has her husband who has health challenges. So I know she's also a caregiver, and it's very hard on people like those. The program we did some time ago was who takes care of the caregivers, because sometimes you get close with this person and things you're not supposed to take home with you. Your situation, some of them pass, and you take that on. So it's a situation more often than not that the caregivers need counseling. You're human, and it's going to affect you one way or the other. You're not animation. You're not inanimate. It's going to affect you. So Social Security, fellas say, let me see what I have to say here now. Social Security have a wheelchair ramp. That is good. This contributor sent me a WhatsApp that says Social Security have a wheelchair ramp. Kudos to them. And I hope other institutions around town, those who have the ability to install such facilities, please do so. All right? The month of the elderly, what can we do to improve the quality of life for our senior citizens? Those who don't want to stay home, come around town, the challenges, even the cobblestone, the pavement is a bit rough for wheelchairs, but at least they can come out. I saw a few in the circus some weeks ago. They have their motorized chair. That's so very good. My friend up in New York was Mary, and others, Sister Henry and others has been instrumental in assisting one or two persons. I know a guy asked me last week when next is a shipment due, and I took his numbers, and we'll update him when that's possible. But yes, we have to focus on our elders, and since we can. We go back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. You're live on Voices.
The King Carl Brown here again.
Carl Brown, back on the mic. Go ahead.
The banks, them, used to have a line for senior citizens. You know, a lot of them, what we say, make that disappear like a ghost now.
For that was during the COVID era?
No, long before the COVID, that was there.
Okay.
Right? You go into the bank now, you see people 70-something, people on crutches have to sit down into it till the turn come. When they used to have a line for the senior citizens, I think they had it 65 up and over, or 62, something like that.
People like me and you?
Right? Eh?
People like me and you?
Well, I'm close to I'm getting there. Right? They don't have that anymore. And we are talking about the elderly and the work, that the contribution that they have made. You go into businesses, you see the people have to sit down. Sometimes the more former one have to get up and let them sit till the turn come when they used to have a line for them.
Yeah, there's a business place at the top of 4th Street. When you go there, you see a couple of chairs where the elderly would sit until they turn. But you're right. In some institutions, they have tellers or, assistants who will come over to the elderly and, take their paperwork for them. So that's the consideration that we would have to appreciate.
Why would you have the senior citizens going in the normal line where we, the more younger persons, could stand and go around till our turn? Why you going to abolish the senior citizens line? And then you go into the bank, sometimes it's not even a Friday or Thursday when you get paid. Because of the senior, they don't have no more senior citizen line. The bank look like it's so busy. Right? And when it could not be that busy, because if you had the senior citizen line, the normal line would not be in so long. Sometimes the guards them have to lay wait outside because the senior citizens, the young, the middle-aged, the teenager, and everybody in the same line.
Same queue. Okay. Got a point. There should be a designated line or queue for them.
Yes.
All right.
And you should have tellers that deal with just them.
Got a point. It's serious. It's serious.
Yeah. And another thing, they're making a lot of parking. You see everybody now doing parking, so they're picking up $5 for parking lot. But nobody setting out no areas for the senior citizens. Even on 4th Street, Church Street, a lot of them don't have nothing. It is very nice to see that Social Security have an access for the wheelchair persons.
But
I don't know if
then again, it's left.
Skelet.
They have one now? That's good.
Skelet, if you go across Skelet, you would see a ram come right up with railing.
You're right.
Right? And that is very nice. The people, we can't abandon them because they are less mobile now and that sort of thing. They want to do their business for themselves. They don't want us in their business. They don't want to feel left out and feel less of important than we who stronger now. They want to go up to the counter and do their own thing. They want to sit behind the desk and, talk for themselves
Still
and
enjoy the
pull out their
independence.
own documents and do their own thing.
Well, I think it would be a good policy for the Department of Planning to insist that any modern building must be designed with accommodation for wheelchair, access and stuff like that.
Right. And one of the things to the king, I see everybody now building a 3-storage building. Some people going up 4, but there is no elevator. Mammoth amount of steps. There is no fire escape. And for years I've been talking about it, the king. And then planning unit, these are simple minor things, planning unit. And the minister and people could sit down and the banks and thing and sit down and thing because we see lots of fire on the news. We see even here in the Caribbean and thing. Fire thing and you hear so much people because only one escape and people getting trampled because everybody rushes into this one escape.
You're right. There's a building that went up about maybe 6-7 years ago next to the service station there on top of Keon on 4th Street. Has no elevator. None.
Pure steps.
None at all. So it's one access.
Pure steps.
If you're on the top floor, is one access out. That's a fire hazard.
And they're letting people build these buildings with one door in, one door out. And even if they have a second door, it is locked and some top-class manager or director have the key.
Yeah, that building from the top floor have no fire escape. You're right. The things that when you think of them, they come into focus. That's one.
Yeah. Hey, and it's rubbish and nonsense. We building code, it's so high. And you're letting people build these things, even on projects and so people get their own land. I see them building these 14 and 16 and 18 apartments. But there's no fire escape.
It should be a modern requirement. There's no ifs, buts, or maybe as it relates to that. But I don't know what it's not the planning unit. Where they pass plans up at NHC or CHA, whatever it is. What's that department called? Your plan had to be vetted by them up there, the architects. You have to be passed by them. It should be a requirement.
The planning unit.
Yeah, it's still different, but
Building board.
Building board. That's correct. There should be certain standards that meets the modern requirements in, a modern society.
Yeah, and if your building going a certain height, you must access it with the elevator.
There was a policy back in the Simmons administration that you could not build any building taller than a palm tree. So the 2 tallest buildings downtown, as we still stand, are the top of the St. George's Anglican Church and the Roman Catholic Church. They're still the tallest buildings.
And what we call the rooftop.
Not as high as St. George's.
No, not as high, but that is pretty high.
But it started at a lower elevation from the guts up there.
Yes, yes.
But I'm saying that's not so much a modern building. I'm saying in going forward, any modern structure, 2 stories or higher, should have those accommodation. It should be a standard requisite of the plan. What do you call it? The building board. Building board.
Okay, I go on the king.
You're gone again.
But just something for the business people to think about, and the government should make it a policy, and we don't even have to wait on the government to make these things policies. we of our own self should be thinking about everybody else.
And giving
Right?
consideration.
Because remember, it's customers we are trying to gain, and not because they are little less mobile now. We should not want the business.
In all aspects,
Again.
consideration. Thank you, sir. To all aspects of the public, those who are able, those who are disabled, those who are physically or vision impaired, they should have those accommodations in place for them. The month of the elderly, we're in October, and we are observing care. Well, I'm still standing by for a call from Miss Patch, which is leader. She is the manager of the Grange, and she has a wealth of information to share with us if she got a chance. We have a next call. Caller, you live on Voices.
Yeah, the king. I'm back again, the king.
Mr. Culture.
That's about my wife's phone.
Well, that's good. At least see the wife. You don't think she's fixed your home one time. John, good morning.
The king, listen here. I agree with what you and Carl Brown been saying. Any new building is about to be constructed should have, once you're going up about floors, you should have elevator. And if you're gonna, even if you're gonna stay one floor, whatever it is, and you have the space, you're supposed to have space for wheelchair, walkers, people with crutches, even prosthetic legs. But some people get into their business, and all the focusing on is how much money they're gonna make, how much money they're gonna make this week and this year. Sometimes you want to go to a place as a what you call as an elder, and where the office is, the steps them look like ladder. You can't go up there. One slip, and the better you just stay home and dead. So all these places here, they should be reconstructed. And it ain't too much of a surprise, because look what planning board or planning unit or whosoever in charge of planning and whatnot.
The building
look,
board.
A man build a house over on the beach to stop people from traveling on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And when Mr. Bradshaw, who did, said nobody was to block the free
access
to the beach. None. Mr. Bradshaw said if you could walk around the island of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Along the coastal region, yeah.
Exactly, do that. And they sit back here and let a man, and then look who do it. If it was a black man from here, I'm not discriminating about colors now. If it was a local, they go put up a T111 over there, not even on the sand. They will have said, no, you can't build that here, move that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the same thing they have in these housing projects. I don't know, well, a lot of things change. When they started building a lot of these houses, they say they don't want a thinning fence. You can't build a shop in these projects. Well, people got to live. And if they got this space in the yard, they build a shop in the yard or whatsoever, and they're making the money.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're coming after me and you, what happened over there? big down in the corner, and then, see, he ain't want nobody come near his house. He put some big stone out in the sea. So you either got to swim around, go on there, or fall and break your foot.
He was a friend.
Let her go move that.
He was
and
a friend.
Eh?
He was a friend and major financier of that particular politician at the time.
Okay, look here. There is what you call a special advisor to somebody in this country here. That advisor used to be adamant talking about that. Say if he had the power and authority, he will shove down the house over Friggy Bay. But now he got the big job, and he got double job. He ain't talking about that now.
Sometimes
one of your co-worker.
Co-worker, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
when you say
they
business.
do the same trade like you.
I know.
Okay.
You know.
The house over there, he ain't talking about that now.
Mr. Fire them.
He shoes on his foot now, so he's okay. He's sweet him now.
You mean
the picture ain't burning him.
You mean Mr. Fire them?
Eh?
Mr. Fire them you talking about?
No, the one who like thing.
Okay.
The one who like
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Okay.
Anyway, we got a contribution. Somebody writes.
Okay, then all the best.
We forget to mention that government headquarters have wheelchair access for years. There is a ramp at the front of the building. That is so correct, and it's worth mentioning. So we read, we forget to mention that government headquarters have wheelchairs access for years. There is a ramp at the front of the building, and it was mentioned that the elevator is in place. I think it's working. But of course, we're looking at a modern building. You must have these accommodation for the elderly and those that challenge, right? The question is, will the smart homes have those accommodation? Are we going to build going up? Because the government houses are just 2 stories, right? But they should have accommodation for those who may have to live on the second floor. You having us call? Okay, we take the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're live on Voices.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Host.
Your humble servant. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yes, okay. I just really want to, you have Sandy Point connection. I'm trying to follow up a project that was supposed to be completed by now. And that is the public cemetery in Sandy Point. Under the previous government.
Completed? Has it started?
They push the clear. I want time to clear the area.
About Farmers Road there?
I guess it must be back in bush and thing, trees and thing.
Yes.
But I believe that, it is a forgotten project. And I want to know its status in regard to what is the hold-up. Because the cemetery should have been already reconstructed. And people from the neighboring communities, they want the loved one to be laid to rest there. Better yet, they can have more people turning out to funeral service, save time and money. And these days we are constructing smart homes, smart hospitals. Well, I guess this cemetery in time for smart.
We go get smart.
A smart cemetery.
You're right.
It's a climate change, and so I know Prime Minister do inherit things like these, but that is certain, Mr. Host. You don't have to be sick to pass.
I understand that.
That is certain. And so to be hesitant, delaying the construction of the cemetery, I don't think it's wise.
Okay.
Because when I was a teenager, I was just started working in Bastille, when this Christina sang, and this truck with this body coming through. And it was sad to see people had to be buried in trenches.
Yes, I recall that.
And we have to make provision for things like these. We don't know. And so to have, because the cemetery, the Methodist cemetery is threatened by the ocean.
That is correct.
The ocean is the rising. And so I believe it's high time that we have vision. I know that government don't want during campaign to say that they're going to construct a cemetery.
It was said some years ago.
In the Joseph Cemetery. Somebody had said that.
To remember Brown, when he was a candidate for the Labour Party, he promised
yes.
quite a few cemeteries, yes.
And right away, you see they want to kill our people. You see the intention. But a public cemetery for Sandy Point, and especially for those
the churches.
Yes. And Springfield Cemetery now is, I do not know. But to me, they're fighting for space there.
You make a very valid point, because some people from Sandy Point come up to be interred there. That area that you pointed out was identified for the building of a cemetery. I don't know what happened, but there's been a change of administration, and as you recognize it, nothing is been said about it.
I really would like them, because they say it would have been, public cemetery, and you have the various churches
services,
and
so on.
Have this space, even though a person is not religious or what, and he passed, they have a space for that person. And I believe in that cemetery you could build a chapel, and a smart chapel. We are fellow that don't go to church can have some kind of ceremony. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so correct.
Go by a graveside, and So I want us to get vision. Don't wait until we have a disaster. This is climate change, and then you're fighting for space and go bury people in trenches. I don't want to see that again in
repeated. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Host. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for that contribution. It's a reminder that we need to follow up on programs. Let's take this last call before we go to the headline news. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Good day. I am calling from overseas.
Okay.
And I am hoping that those of us who are pensioners who live overseas can get an apology from the Prime Minister. Now, the $1,000 that the Prime Minister gave to Social Security to workers and says thank you for helping build a federation. I find that it was disrespectful that pensioners who live overseas were excluded. Because the reason I said that, if you joined the civil service at age 18, retired at age 55, you moved overseas, you gave your whole youthfulness to the Federation. There is no more youthfulness for somebody, an individual that I know lives in New York, gave 32 years to the civil service, then moved to New York with his family. Then is no way he can secure a good pension in New York as much as he worked for those remaining 10 years until he got to 65. And I do not believe when the Federation is giving something to its citizens, any pensioner should be excluded. It doesn't matter which part of the world you live in. And for the Prime Minister to say, thank you for helping build our country. So you are telling me that because you live overseas as a pensioner, you didn't help build a country? I gave 22 years of that 40. I live overseas. So you're telling me Miss Hernandez or Miss Chin, who lives in St. Kitts for 5 years, can reap the benefit. But somebody who gives 30 years, 20 years to the Federation, you are saying because they live somewhere else, they're exempted?
Question,
it is
sir.
Insulting and it is disrespectful.
If I may, were you saying that you qualify for the basic amount of contribution? You qualify for that. My question is, has it been specifically stated that because you live elsewhere now that you can't qualify for it? I just want clarity on that.
Well, that's what I am reading.
Okay. So
that is what I am reading. Only pensioners
residents,
active workers who reside in St. Kitts and Nevis. Pensioners should not be excluded from anything that is given. If you are a pensioner, it simply means that you gave a lot of years.
And you made once you made the requisite contribution, you qualify for whatever relief is being offered.
No, that's not what it said. Only pensioners and active workers who reside in St. Kitts and Nevis.
And it said, thanks for contributing to building. Okay. I think you would have to rethink that. I understand what you're saying, and you have a lot of logic in your presentation. So I would think that that's a position, based on what you've explained, that the Prime Minister would have to rethink and readdress it to the satisfaction of all those who helped to build the Federation, as he stated, because you qualify in that category as somebody who helped to build the Federation, whether you live here or in Timbuktu.
Thank you very much. You have a good day.
Thank you so very much. We pause for a quick break before we come back and head towards the midday newscast.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Campari, grapefruit, easy for win.
Brother, he no hard it. Easy fi we Campari. He no cup. Easy fi we. Brother, he no hard it. Easy fi we. Had the Campari with the grapefruit soda. That easy. Bitter had the pre.
We're different. We're
It's TDC for me, TDC for we. Neighbor, partner, your family. The best is yet to come, believe me. Moving forward, moving with. Hey, TDC serve the nation with the best customer experience. TDC, you are the one for we. Happy anniversary. Together we succeed. Building on strong community. Pressing on forward to our destiny. One love, one family. Together we succeed. Let the whole world see. Yes, this is 50.
And one trick in the finger to get a call in before we close. So they made their newscast. We got about 3 minutes to go. Okay, let's do a brief recap. We observed in the month of the elderly. We had most of the contribution dealing with that in terms of the modern building that don't have accommodations in terms of wheelchairs and access for those, the elder persons who are handicapped, etc. We've had concerned about the fire hazards in the modern building with the windows, etc. The banking sector not having wheelchair access for customers who are, we have a Department of Aging, a ministry who should be looking into these issues and going forward. We're still waiting, perhaps in the second half, a call from Miss Pat, which is leader, the owner of the Grange Senior Hospice here in St. Kitts. She did claim that she's really busy with her, giving the due care to her clients, but if she get a chance, she will call in. And that she will have a lot to contribute to the program today as we take time out to honor the elderly and see where we can assist, how we can improve our treatment for them. The last caller spoke about the contributions we would have made via Social Security to the development of the nation and how he feels disqualified based on what the PM would have said, allegedly said, in terms of only honoring those who are within the Federation who would have contributed. But I think, as he says, once you've contributed, it doesn't matter where you live in the world, once you would have contributed and the benefits to be derived from your contribution, you qualify and should reap those benefits based on the amount of installation you would have made. So it may have been an oversight. If what you're saying is true, the PM and all the relevant persons will have to address that in a manner that satisfies the concern of all. I want to thank you all for making your contribution this morning. Chris Collins, mainly by WhatsApp, and all the other folks. And we now pause for the hearing of the Win FM's midday newscast, and we return to continue on the other side.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The headline news was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoy the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
The Sound 99.9 FM.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Bastere in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With the Win FM headline news, I am Yulana Weeks. Locally, Ambassador Leon Natta Nelson issues apology following altercation. The Nevis Disaster Management Department hosts a week of activities in commemoration of International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction. The details and more straight ahead. Ambassador Leon Natta Nelson addressed an incident that occurred on 4th Street, Bastere on Saturday night, September 30, 2023, between himself and another male individual. In a letter to the public, Natta Nelson said, quote, I must clarify that as a police investigation is currently underway, I am unable to provide full details on why this incident transpired. However, I feel compelled to share with you that the individual involved, an adult, subjected my 8-year-old son to harm. As a father, my protective instincts kicked in, and I reacted in a manner I now deeply regret. While my intentions were rooted in safeguarding my child, I recognize that I should have approached the situation differently. I love my son dearly, and my natural protective parental instincts took over. Natta added, quote, I wish to sincerely apologize for my emotional reaction and any harsh words that were spoken. Such a response should never have occurred. I am committed to finding more peaceful and constructive ways to address any future concerns, even those involving my child. It is crucial that we denounce all forms of aggression, whether physical or verbal. Let us prioritize open dialogue, understanding, and peaceful conflict resolution, especially in moments of heightened emotion. As the police investigation unfolds, I ask for your patience and understanding. Additionally, I hope that the individual or individuals responsible for threats against my family and home as seen in widely circulated videos, will be held accountable for their actions. I trust in the thoroughness of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force in this matter. In closing, I extend my heartfelt apologies to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis for my regrettable actions. I cherish my son deeply and will always seek to protect him. Yet I can assure you that I have gleaned a lesson from this experience and strive for a more compassionate and understanding society. We can forge a future with respect, empathy, and peaceful dialogue, triumph over confrontation. Thank you for your time and your understanding. Sincerely, Leon Natter Nelson. The Nevis Disaster Management Department celebrates the International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction 2023 with an exciting calendar of activities. This year's local theme at NDMD is Building Community Resilience Through Education while Managing Our Multi-Hazard Environment. This year's event commenced with a church service at the Eden Brown Church of God on Sunday, October 1 at 10 a.m. The Minister with Responsibility for Disaster Management, the Honorable Spencer Brand, Permanent Secretary Mr. Denzil Stanley, Assistant Secretary Mr. Mikhail Herbert, and the NDMD staff attended the service for prayers and a moment of reflection on the importance of disaster risk reduction. Other events include a double wicket cricket tournament at VOJN Recreational Field on 7th and 8th October, a staff development day at the Nevis Disaster Management Department on 9th October, and On the Mark, a radio talk show at Von Radio on 11th October. There will also be a Saddle Hill tour on the 13th of October and a public family fun day on Saturday, 14th October at Malcolm Gishad Park. This fun day includes a health fair, a multi-hazards competition, games for the family, a domino tournament, softball cricket, a soccer tournament, and much more. On Sunday, 22nd October at 7 p.m., there will be a grand gospel concert featuring M1 at Eden Brown Church. Training for the disaster management community, disaster risk communicators, and schools disaster risk communicators will be convened from the 23rd to the 25th of October. The official launch of SDCA will take place at the NDMD in collaboration with the Ministry of Education on October 25. The activities will climax with a Nevis Disaster Management Department staff development on October 26 and a joint staff activity with NEMA on October 27, 2023. Regionally,
while their country staggers through an economic crisis with no end in sight, Cubans are leaving in unprecedented numbers. This medical student plans to fly to Nicaragua before journeying up to the US-Mexico border. He insisted on anonymity for fear of reprisals.
Of the countries for which you don't need a visa, Nicaragua is closest to the US. That's why people fly there.
He'll pay $5,000 for flights and a people trafficker.
O morir, o llegar. Either I get there or I die. Those are my two options. I can accept dying in the hands of a coyote or during the journey, but I won't die as an old man lining up for food here in Cuba.
He says the island's become a desert. Most of his friends have already left, and around half his class who began studying medicine 4 years ago has since vanished. Those who can leave legally. Anna Delia waits while her mum collects a long-awaited US visa. When the time's right, she also plans to leave.
Almost everyone is leaving.
In the last 6 years, ramped-up US sanctions have hurt the island's economy, knocking billions of dollars a year off state revenues. At the same time, the post-Castro generation of politicians seems short on ideas and have been unable to lead their country out of these economic troubles. Few think things will improve. Hopelessness pervades. Emigration's been part of the Cuba story for generations, but that trend's accelerated since the pandemic. A record number of Cubans emigrated to the US last year, and most young people I speak to say they'd like to leave too. Some Cubans say their island's a prison without bars, and yet if they can make it to the US's southern border, they have privileges other Latin Americans don't enjoy.
If a Cuban arrives at the US-Mexico border and asks him why he wants to come to the US, the classic response is, because I want freedom and human rights, and without providing evidence, the immigration official has the authority to grant him entry to the US.
This week, the Cuban government announced more austerity measures to tackle diesel shortages. This mass exodus has no end in sight. Ed Augustin, Al Jazeera, Havana.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell called for urgent action to be taken as he reported a number of depleting beaches along Grenada's northeastern coastline, a situation that is quite likely replicated across many small island developing states.
If you journey to the northeastern coast of this island, all of the beaches have disappeared. You have ocean, sargassum, and land. Let me repeat that. You have ocean, sargassum, and land. There are no beaches. So what our foreparents had the privilege of enjoying 40 or 50 years ago, we do not have that privilege.
Delivering the keynote on the first day of the second Caribbean Small Island Developing States SIDS high-level dialogue on climate change, the Prime Minister said small islands are in the fight of their lives against climate change.
And this is not a fight about governments. This is a fight about our lives and our livelihoods. Because we speak about the climate crisis as if somehow the climate itself is an issue. As if somehow we need to fix the climate. The issue is about our lives and our livelihoods. The planet will be okay one way or the other. The question is, will we be okay?
Prime Minister Mitchell urged his regional colleagues to consider 3 themes to amplify their voices in a bid to hold industrial countries accountable for the loss and damage being incurred by SIDS.
We have to be passionate about this issue. Perhaps even angry about the issue. Because if we accept that 20% of the world has caused this, and if we accept that same 20% of the world controls 85% of the GDP, then the question is, why should me and you and us who've not caused this continue to quietly, slowly watch our way of life slip by, while those who've created the Industrial Revolution and to some extent are driving the digital and information revolution continue to enjoy the high standards of living and face no consequences.
Participants in the high-level dialogue on climate change included the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Philip Davis, St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew, officials representing other Caribbean Community member states, and other senior officials from the Germany-based United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change Secretariat. The second Caribbean SIDS meeting concluded on Friday. Reporting for TPN News, Beverly Telesford.
Internationally,
Argentina's presidential candidates attempt a last push ahead of October's presidential elections. 5 candidates from the left to the far right. But there are 3 with real chances of winning. Economy Minister Sergio Massa promising to reduce the double-digit inflation rate that his government has been unable to tackle. Former Security Minister Patricia Bullrich vowing to organize the economy, and far-right candidate Javier Milei, who wants to shut down the central bank and dollarize the economy.
Argentina is in decadence, and if we continue like this, we are going to be the biggest slum in the world. Argentina started being the richest country in the world. Now we are among the poorest. We have more than 40% of poverty. 10% are extremely poor, and inflation is out of control.
Milei tried to look composed and serious, unlike his latest appearances, where he showed up with a chainsaw. Argentina has one of the highest inflation rates in the world. Sergio Massa asked for forgiveness for the economic situation and blamed the International Monetary Fund.
Argentina inherited a criminal agreement with the International Monetary Fund that generates inflation, and 4 months ago we were able to renegotiate, and this is what allowed us to reduce taxes.
Massa is promising a national accord to get the country out of the crisis, but Patricia Bullrich from the center-right said people in Argentina are on the edge and need order and stability.
Massa explained to the Argentinians how being the worst minister of economy, you can be a good president. How can you be 2 persons and have so much cynicism? You imposed 40 taxes, you did everything wrong, doubles the inflation rate, the exchange rate.
The focus was on the 2 candidates that polls suggest could make it to the second round in November. Sergio Massa and Javier Milei, who blamed all the politicians for what he called Argentina's economic disaster. This was the first of two debates ahead of the elections on October 22nd.
Argentina is in the middle of a deep economic crisis, and there's lots of anxiety about who this country's next president is going to be. And while there are many who are hoping for radical change, there are many others who fear what that change could bring about. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.
The many lies of Yevgeny Prigozhin, the controversial leader of the Wagner Group, came to an abrupt end in a plane crash near Moscow in August. Less than a month earlier, Russian President Vladimir Putin had stressed at the Africa Summit in St. Petersburg the urgency of fighting the neo-colonialism of Western countries. So, has Prigozhin's demise jeopardized Russia's plans for the African continent?
Prigozhin was a CEO per se, so that means the organization functions independent of him in the entire infrastructure around that organization, for which Africa is a key component in terms of financing, in terms of money laundering and other factors. So then that entire infrastructure is still in place.
Russian military officials, from the deputy defense minister and military intelligence officials, came to visit some of these countries, so Central African Republic, they did a visit to Mali, and I have been in contact with leaders in Burkina Faso, where it was made clear to leaders in place that the Russian Defense Ministry will now take Wagner.
By 2022, Moscow had overtaken Beijing as Africa's main arms supplier. However, it accounts for less than 1% of foreign direct investment in the continent. After a series of coups d'etats in the Sahel region, are Russia's targets purely geopolitical?
A lot of what Russia and Wagner have done, in the last 2 years or so has been, to put it crudely, to stick up its middle finger to France. And I think France has been its main target, so it has targeted former French colonies in Africa. And that worked surprisingly well. However, it does not really invest, it does not provide development aid, it does not provide humanitarian assistance.
The fact that it's willing to support a lot the younger people, the dynamics in terms of saying, well, we support what you're doing and we're not going to judge you if you have human rights abuses, that's well received. It's just what Russia is doing well is it's providing an alternative to what Western countries offer or have offered for the last few decades.
By withdrawing influence from the West, Moscow is gaining support that is scarce on the international scene. African countries have 54 votes in the UN General Assembly, making them one of the strongest regional blocs.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Bastir in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
Service announcement. Brace yourselves for the ultimate shopping extravaganza that you've been waiting for. Get ready to be blown away because double cashback coupon season has officially landed at Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. Can you feel the excitement in the air? It's that magical time of year when Horsford's paves the way to your dreams by giving away millions in free groceries with every Flex Pay Higher purchase. But wait, there's more to this phenomenal offer. Hold on to your seats because this is your chance to win an entire year of free groceries through the exhilarating double cashback season, double cashback promotion. Wait, did I mention it's double cashback coupon season at Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store? Don't delay, come in today before it's too late and snatch up your double cashback coupons for absolutely free groceries. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
It's approximately 12:30 and I'm locked in until 1:30. Hosting the second half of Voices, today's presentation, of course. We happy to have you with us. The regular callers, those who made a contribution, welcome to the second half of Voices. My name is Socrates and we don't have any particular topic. We were focusing on the elderly in the first half. When we continue, there was some very invaluable contributions about services available in terms of wheelchair ramps and access to buildings, etc., etc. My thing is providing adequate parking downtown for those who challenge. That's just my thing. Coincidentally, it is the month of the elderly, so we focus on them, or we open the lines and entertain the various concerns of our callers. Chris Collins, I just passed a guy outside, they're having lunch. The food smelled good. I was going to ask him where he bought it, so, share information with you. So when you're in town, you know where to go. All right? And so there's, at the moment, I think they would have broken. They would have taken a break for lunch. There is the ongoing training of taxi drivers, a bit of update in their skill set and information. Every year we have that refresher course that's ongoing at the moment and such. So, yeah. We have a call from Miss Patrick's leader. Let's see if we can get her on the Miss Leader, how are you? Okay. Can we get you, hopefully we can get you to call the station because you're on my phone and it won't be a lot.
I know, I was just giving you a heads up.
Yes.
If you could just give me 5 minutes, I'll do that.
We're looking forward to it, so we'll keep the lines open if we can to get to hear from you. Thank you so very much for updating.
I will do that, yeah.
Beautiful. Yes, this is the lady, and she called ahead, Miss Pat, which is leader. Speaking about how busy she is, we appreciate that, but we would really, dearly love to hear from her and what's going on in the world of senior caregivers. It's 12:32. Haven't had lunch. They chop out there. You know where you get the food from, Jamster? The chop up there. I mean, it smells good. You know? Yes, he's out there. Chris Collins wants to know where you get the food from. we have to look out for Chris. Yeah, that's his name, Blue, yes. We need to find out. Normally on Mondays, later by lunch from is done in town. Okay, Chris is typing. Let's see what he has to say. And yeah, it's beautiful Monday. It's still a bit overcast. We were having a fair amount of rain of late. We're still in the hurricane season. We're mindful of that, but still, we don't feel it okay. In Guyana, some folks are concerned about the influx of folks from Venezuela and how they're well received as opposed to Haitians. Another issue of Caribbean nationals turning the back on the Haitians. And you see clips of people from Venezuela crossing the border with their family and the kids. Not really being welcomed, but allowed to enter Guyana. And when it comes to the Haitians, they said no. Why is that? Why is that? I think if we really were to embrace our history, just about every island should be saying thanks to the Haitians. I think it's an education that we need to understand why we shun the Haitians, why we treat them that way, why we think of them that way. And persons of other ilk in terms of complexion, we embrace them, even here in St. Kitts. Even here in St. Kitts. And on the borders now in the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, they are erecting a border to prevent the Haitians from going in. There's a whole water issue. But they are erecting boundaries or border that the Haitians can cross. Why are we doing that? Those who come here seeking refuge, they always find St. Kitts because boat always captured from St. Kitts. There are people who are seeking refuge because things are very bad in the country. Why? The similarities between there and Burkina Faso and Niger is blaring. The French, their countries are being destabilized, and they say, "Oh, you're blaming the white men again." It's not. It's a lot more than that. So much more than that. But in Guyana, they are inviting or entertaining the Venezuelans and not the Haitians. We go to the phone lines. Good day, call live on voices. There you go.
Good afternoon, the King.
Good day, sir. How are you? Welcome to the program.
Yes. You was expecting the lady to call back because you don't want to incur on.
Well, Jamster will monitor. So if there's another call, we'll indicate to you.
Yes.
And right.
Okay, quickly. Yes.
Yes.
Let me say all the best to the elders and the King. You know me. You know I have a mantra. I heard you earlier mention about the passing of Brandy,
David
Brandy,
yes,
of the taxi president, mother. And the old mantra would say that a great tree has fallen, not any ordinary tree, a baobab tree. Those baobab tree that has a lifespan about 5,000 years, I was told. So, like the baobab tree that has fallen, we would give honor to the elder of that community, and we would say a great tree has fallen, because they have contributed to. And even though they pass in the physical, their admonition to us remains in our ears.
It remains.
As to not to be deviant in our behaviors and so forth. So I just want to convey that respect to all of my elders. I attended a funeral, I think it was Friday, of a lady in my community, Ruby. She lived 102 years.
Wonderful.
And I consider her to be one of my angels, but she always had an advantage, and she would have said to me, this person or that person attempted to go into your yard and so forth and so forth.
Neighborhood watch.
She knew my dad, and I didn't know her when I was growing up because she lived in England for quite a while. So, like the Balbakshi, and I pour libation to all my ancestors, and I will say also to Ruby, may your ancestors receive you with open arms. So I have that respect for my elders, as we ought to have. And so I want to say happy elderly month to all of the elders who have given. And like the gentleman who talked about it being a pensioner,
yes,
I know the Prime Minister has given a concerted effort to give others who have not, probably did not get before. And likewise, the gentleman in foreign, in the diaspora, he likewise and others in the diaspora are entitled and they deserve theirs as well.
Okay.
You are asking me why the Venezuelans and why other nationalities and not the Haitian, the king?
Yes, it was up there for the general public to contemplate.
Why? That's a big question. Why?
Well,
it's a good question. So I think I have
fools die
my
for the lack of
contribution for the
wisdom.
day.
Mhm.
And because in the interest of time, I will allow someone else to call in, but
Much
I will get back to
appreciated.
that question at another time.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
You're welcome. Pouring libation, is it caller, Jamster? Pouring libation on the ground. It's part of a ceremony where we honor our ancestors when they're falling. You know, you take a drink of rum, as we call it, and you throw some on the ground. We go to the phone lines for this one. Go to the caller.
Greetings, King Son.
With respect, how are you, sir?
Okay, what we have on the table? We just tune in. So it's what they say, it's Elders Month.
It's the month of the elderly, and we are standing by for a call from Miss Pat, which is leader. She's the owner of the Grange. So if we cut you, our indicated because she's on, right? But we're speaking about the elders.
I leave right away.
No. Eli X, I'm saying just in case we indicate because we're keeping the lines open as best we can. But your contribution is very vital to the program also. Sorry you had to leave. Yeah, we are in the month of the elderly, and we are looking at those who give care to the elderly. We're looking at the challenges that they face around town. We are talking about putting wheelchair access ramps for them, parking for handicaps, stuff like that. No banner buildings should be allowed to be constructed without the wheelchair access and such. So we take this call from the public. Good day, caller. You live on Voices.
Yes, good day, man. How you doing, the King?
Okay, yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I didn't really get the first half today, but I don't know if we letting people speak freely today or what.
Yes, we're also standing by for a call from Miss Pat, which is leader from the Grange. So you got a point?
Yeah.
Just make it quickly. Work with us.
Okay, no problem. You can cut me off anytime. It's all good. Like we're talking about the Haitians again, and right now we got to pay attention to what's going on the continent as well.
Yes.
And also in America, right? We continually seeing the influx of people at the south border, and we got to ask ourselves, how come they didn't really erect that fence and block some of these people out? Because when the Haitians then was coming, the Haitians taking a beating everywhere you go, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if it's because they're so black, they stand out, but come on, man. Recently in America, I don't know if you heard this by now, 465,000 Venezuelans, Biden has now signed a pact to give them amnesty. And also Israel, they're going to be allowed, they also signed something for Israel citizens of Israel to travel into the United States visa-free.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I don't know. Even when Biden and Netanyahu seems like they were going at it, you know, imagine they were still able to sign something like that. I don't know if that's when it's gonna go in effect, but I've heard that they have signed that already.
Okay. I want to be able to expound on that, right? So I made a note of what you said. I want to take this call and see if this person we're waiting on, but I'll be able to address those questions the best I can in a few, okay?
Okay, cool.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Let's
thanks.
see who the next caller is.
Bye.
Any call there, Jamster? Hello? Okay. Let me miss that call. Yes, the whole border issue in the U.S. is a whole different story. One of the reasons why people, Israel and those are accommodating them, they have oil. They're rich. Haiti is rich also, but the resources are being controlled by other, entities. You know, so the whole migration system and the whole thing about we and they and border and this and that. You're looking at a country that was stolen and built by stolen labor. Right? As is written in the Bible, the sword will not depart from your house. Let's take this call. Caller, live on Voices. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Hello.
Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Oh, hi, Mr. Socrates. This is Mrs. Richards' leader here.
Blessed to hear your voice. Thank you for trying, and you're live, so let's hear from you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I really just wanted to extend warmest greetings to all the caregivers, not just of the elderly, but also people who are caring for anyone who needs care and love today. As we enter into the second day of the World Health Organization and United Nations recognition of Month of the Elderly.
Splendid.
And really to stress that, that every month should be Month of the Elderly. Every day should be Month of the Elderly, really. But not just thinking of the people who are receiving care, but also of the people who have this enormous task of rendering care.
Mm-hmm. So yes,
that's my piece.
No, that can't be a piece. You have so much more to contribute. We did have in plans to have you in the studio, was it last week? But of course, you called to speak about the challenges you were facing. You're extremely busy, and we appreciate that. Mm-hmm. So not having you in the studio, and you called to say you're actually going through something yourself, people that you actually went to school with, you're dealing with all that matter. It weighs on you. It weighs on you. Rosemary Donald up in New York, she is also a senior caregiver. And the time she speaks about the challenges, you have to step back because you get involved in people. They're people. And you can't be, so I understand that. But what about programs? Are there any other programs that we need to be aware of for this particular month?
I am not aware of the government programs. I haven't been sent any. But as you know, every day, every week, we have special programs here at the Grange for the elderly, mainly with music. We have a Mr. Roy Harris who has been gracing us with his presence for almost 14 years, and he comes twice a week with his guitar. And, we have the various religious groups that come along, either collectively or individually, to give some spirituality to keep it with these people. The thing is, it doesn't matter how much we stray in our youth and in our 30s and 40s and so forth. Once we start getting to those golden years, we become very spiritual, very religious, and we do welcome prayers and songs and so forth.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing, nothing out of the ordinary, because I believe that every day is a special day. Every day is somebody's last day, and we have to treat them in that manner. But also that we need to be very, very attentive to the physical and psychological needs of the people who are caring for these people as well.
And you're
and
trained
be there
for
to
that.
counsel and guide
It takes
them.
a certain amount of training, so you're actually trained for that.
Yeah.
And I've heard people say to you in passing in the circles that when that time arrives, they want to come by you. They want to come by you. So it must be something good that you're doing, that level of comfort. You spoke about the challenges, the cost, and what the services you provide. Overall, sometimes the dance can't pay for the lights, but people need to know that at the stage of their life, that that peace of mind, that the people are actually caring for them, giving them the attention they need. You mentioned the spiritual food that they get when this gentleman and others come there to sit and entertain and engage them is a wonderful thing. And
you know, Mr. Socrates, when I started the Grange 23 years ago, going into 24 years now, the Grange was never meant as an institution to make me rich. If I had loads of money, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I was born poor.
Okay.
It was meant as a giving back to the Society of St. Kitts and Nevis that gave birth to me and reared me to a certain extent until I was early teens and I went abroad. It was born out of a need, a research need that I saw that was needed. And I knew that it would not be an easy task. And if anybody is having an institution like mine who think that it's an overnight richness, then they need to think again. It means that they would be cutting corners in the comfort and care that they could give to the elderly. You see, as we get older, we have one heap of comorbidities. Everything that's wrong could go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not just dealing with one thing. You're dealing with 3, 4, 5, 6 medical issues. So you can't put a cost on that. Also, the emotional thing that's there. When you're dealing with something like dementia, the emotional cost to the caregiver, you can't pay for it. So this is not just a job. This is something that people has got to put their mind to, that you want to do it. It's tough, but hey, at the end of the day, it is so rewarding and job satisfying that it actually becomes quite addictive. And so I just really want to thank the staff I have here now. They are extremely, extremely supportive. We really look out for each other. And, oh dear, I can't at this moment in time hope for people who, they want to learn. And that is the thing. I say to them every day, when you come on duty, you're going to learn. I mean, you're going to get paid. You have to get paid. But don't just come and work. Learn. Because this is a part that our relatives and us will have to travel.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And so there are people who are at home who would not have had that professional training, who have challenges with dealing with, especially folks who have, the kin folks who have dementia. I think you mentioned that you have many clients who are diabetic, and the costs of providing the care for them is all part of what you do, but you give more than you get. You spoke about not.
Well, it's not just diabetes, because if you think about this, diabetes is not a diagnosis that normally comes on its own. Normally, it has something that's carrying along with it.
Comorbidities, yes.
Either it's got visual issues, mobility issues, hypertension, all type of things that go with it. In most severe cases, you have like amputations, something that affects people so mentally, like an amputation. You've lost a limb. So it's a whole heap of stuff. It's not just giving somebody a bath and feeding them. You have to encompass all the other psychological things. But when you think about it, 1 in 3, every 3 seconds worldwide, Mr. Socrates, somebody's been diagnosed with dementia. So you have to think where me and you are placed in that scenario, in that statistics, right? And it might not happen yet, but how could we protect ourselves from all these things? Because nearly everything that happened to us in life
preventable
are preventative. They are preventable measures that we could do. At the end of it, we're going to die. It's not dying. When we're dead, we're gone, we can't feel any pain. is the morbidity, the suffering, that if you are not a old adult, that could affect you going there. I mean, in this federation, we've got chronic obesity, and we know that obesity leads to so many other
elements.
So many other things. I was saying to my husband last week, I've never seen a fat centenarian, and that's not discriminatory. It's true. These are pointers that, hey, if we want a better life as we grow older, there are things that we could do to prevent that, and that's where we need to help people. I have no issues in teaching. Yes, I know that my time and so forth during the day is a lot curtailed because I love to have hands-on. I love to know each one of my residents and, could look at their face and tell whether they're in pain. Some of them can't talk. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to know your residents, even though they might be muted or have whatever. Hey, when I left yesterday, you weren't looking like this, so let me try and find out what's wrong. And you have to be part of it. You can't be detached as a manager, as an owner. You have to be in there, knowing what's happening. So when I tell you that I can't come on the radio,
I totally
that's
understand.
Because my heart is primarily at the Grange.
I totally understand.
That's where I belong.
And I'm very happy to be able, I will say the management of WINNMedia Family was very happy to every chance you can get to come and share with the world at large what the level of service you're supplying, what's required, help us to get a better understanding of the challenges that you face. It's very fundamental because we jump and wave and enjoy life. We're not thinking about what may happen down the road, and the person like yourself who ensures that when that happens, there is an institution, a place where you can go and receive that kind of love, attention.
And where you could feel like you're part of a family. I mean, you were saying that about, your colleague when I passed you the circus and so forth. Every time I passed you the circus, they shout at me,
yes,
hey, don't forget to leave my bed. And
they want to
forth.
come.
So I know that it's been effective,
mm-hmm.
because once it becomes tangible, and as a pioneer, you get a lot of kicks along the way, but pioneers always get kicks. It's the people who come before you that sometimes get the benefits. But if you think about that, then you'll never pioneer anything. And care of the elderly was one of the things that was really close to my heart when I did my research in 1995 and realized that was actually an area of deficit in our federation. And government can't do everything. Somebody's got to stick out their neck and say, this is my contribution. And if I could work I've worked in nearly every continent in this world. So if I could be out there doing this service to cultures and other people who really don't belong to me, why can't I come back home and do it? Why can't people make me feel comfortable coming back home to do it? So, and I'm not somebody who is very easily deterred. I'm not easily intimidated.
Thank God for that.
So I keep pressing on. Sometimes you could say something to me and you could wonder if I hear you, because if it's negative, it would just roll away, because negativity takes away that focus. You have to remain focused on what you're doing. Just try and live in a positive world. I know a positive world is not a real world, Mr. Socrates, but maturity and professionalism allows you and makes you able to filter out those negative things and just flush them.
Okay. Quickly, I mean, may not be appropriate at the moment, but for a person who's considering bringing a loved one down there, cost factor, just generalize for us what it would take for a month or a week for a person to be there and the resident and getting the optimum care.
Okay, so we do any care from say an hour. We do hourly care. So if you want to go drop off your relative while you go and do some shopping, or you want a day in Nevis, overnight care, we do that, and any length of care. But if we go on a long-term basis at this present time, and I would say to you that the basic cost of care is less than $5 EC an hour.
Okay. And this includes medication?
That includes 3 cooked meals a day and 4 snacks. If they're diabetics, then of course they get more snacks because overnight sometimes we have to feed them. You know, the diabetics suffer the 2 a.m. crash. A lot of times they wake up. I mean, if you're diabetic, the time you wake up in the night, you look at the clock, it's between 2 and 3. That's a physiological thing when all of us, our blood sugar drops. So the caregivers has got to be aware of that and have drinks or whatever that the patients need. So it basically is 3 cooked meals and 4 snacks. We give you all the drinks you need. We care for you for your diabetes. Make sure that you have your HbA1c done every 3 months. And if you're on insulin, you get your blood sugar checked once or twice a day. Most of our residents get their blood pressure checked twice a day, and temperature, so their full shebang, oxygen concentration, and so forth. We've got an affiliated doctor who is Dr. Laws, and he's very attentive to us and has been for 23 years. God bless him. Your laundry is done. I employ 2 persons who take turns, and they come in at 7 a.m. every morning, and all the beds are sprayed, washed, clean bed linen. We supply all toiletries, except if somebody wants something that they have used all their life and can't do without it, but all the toiletries. So if you come in, you don't have to worry about soap and razors and blah, blah, because basically 50% of my residents, their next of kin is abroad. So I can't be ringing New York or London and say, look, your mother soap or whatever is almost done. So that's all inclusive in this price of less than $5 EC an hour.
EC
I
an
stress
hour.
EC.
Yes.
We have another thing is that our accommodation has always been spacious. So when they had COVID and they were saying 6 feet apart, we didn't have that problem because it was purposely built to international standards. So we have no more than 2 residents to a room, and the beds are more than 6 feet apart.
Okay.
Even though they're 2 residents to a room, they have 2 toilets, a bath, shower, 2 sinks. So if they're mobile, they don't have to wait on each other.
I hear you.
So most of the rooms have got AC. We allow the patients to choose if they want AC or they want a fan. A lot of the older people don't like AC, but it's come, this summer has been so hot that we have really got to try and tell them, look, it's just too hot in here. Even the fan is blowing hot air. So we provide them with all that. For the ones who are technologically inclined, we've got free Wi-Fi 24 hours a day. What else do we give? So all the rooms have got their own television, an extension, telephone, and so forth. So we make sure they're comfortable. But one of the things I do, which takes a lot of time of, is that before we admit a resident, I speak to the relative, go to the home, and see what the patient, the prospective resident likes. So, I encourage them to bring in family pictures, family portraits, so that when they come, that transition period is actually much easier.
Okay.
Not many people put up their hand and say, hey, I want to go into a home because, they say an Englishman home is his castle. So, but you have to make them feel that way. Some people take me a long time because I had to put a face to a name and they've got to gain my trust. You cannot bully people in coming, leaving their home and so forth and blah, blah. So we do give a complete, comprehensive service. And I must state that our service is not a companionship service. We have trained people. I am a nurse at doctorate level, and I have graduate registered nurse, practical nurses, certified care assistant, etc., etc. And as a qualified nurse lecturer, I continue to teach. And I go abroad and do workshops and come back with that knowledge so that our people here could appreciate
and apply
everything that is done abroad.
Okay. I do have to stop for our station break at the moment, but I want to thank you very much for that, especially answering the question as to cost. Because what you just laid out, no way realistically can be done for $5 an hour. But we want to thank you for all the love that you showed.
Under. The starting price is like, I tried to work it out, it's about $4.60 an hour for the basic cost. Okay? So when people are saying it's expensive, how long is a piece of string? They are not curtailing everything else that is added on to that and so forth. So people need to be, and it's not US, it's EC, by the way. So, so people need to look at. And before you put that into a home, you need to go and see what you're buying.
Yes.
You know? You need to go and see what you're buying. And if you can't afford it, even at that low cost, don't say it's expensive. You know, if you can't buy a $6 bread, you buy a dollar bread. We have dollar bread still, I'm not sure. Whatever it is.
$2.
But, just because you can't afford something doesn't mean that it's expensive.
I understand.
It means that at this present time, you can't afford it. You need to weigh it up against what you are buying. Okay. And so, you know, at home, I mean, imagine, you don't have any overhead costs. I'm the one who's paying the water bill, the electricity bill, the cable, the everything. And so what you're paying at home, and you add all these bits to it, it's nearly 4 times.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we want to thank you very much for making all the time and effort to get in on the program. It's the 2nd day of October, and it's the month of the elderly. And I think you're the right person in the context to be able to give us an update on what's happening in the world of the elder care. Thank you so very much for that.
Okay, and just keep loving the elderly, because we're going there. We're lucky enough.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's the part we're going. Okay, thank you, Mr. Socrates, and we'll talk again.
Thank you so very much. At this point in time, Jamster go downtown to give a few kind words to our sponsors.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Blessings. Thank you.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9 Win FM.
Here are your hosts of Value Mart IGA specials, running September 21st through October 4th. The more you shop, the more you save. Get double points on all grocery food items and meats until the end of September. And in the month of October, double points on dairy and grocery non-food items. Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Bigelow teas, $10.99. Essential Everyday Grated Parmesan Cheese, $11.99. Yoplait Yogurt, $3.99. Blue Ribbon Ice Cream Tubs, $32.99. Renews It Adjustable Air Freshener, $7.49. And now our very low weekly value deals. Essential Everyday 100% Apple Juice, $8.99. Old Orchard Apple Cocktails, $9.99. Arm & Hammer Deodorant, $7.99. White Grange Shampoos and Conditioners, $4.99. Shop smart, shop Value Mart and get double points for more rewards today. Continuamos con las recompensas durante el mes de octubre. Recibirá puntos dobles cuando haga sus compras aquí. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
We're back. Can we go straight to the phone lines? Call your live on voices.
Oh, good afternoon, Socrates.
Your humble servant.
Yes, one of the elderly.
Yes.
I'm a proud elderly, you know.
And it's the month of the elderly, so we celebrate you
yes,
even
it's
more.
my month, our month.
Okay.
You reach there yet, or you don't want to reach there?
I close. I you know. I used to go in the senior citizen line. Doing COVID.
That is true. Mm-hmm. Never pass it up. I don't care. Well, you send me, you look well.
Mm-hmm.
My birth certificate says I am an elderly.
There you go.
Anything for the elderly, you take too.
All right.
So I want to give God thanks, you know, for allowing us to live this long. When you listen to the news, all over the world, people are dying like that. Disasters, natural disasters, man-made disasters. You know, so it's a pleasure. It's a bit long life, as I say to myself, and learn it. With long life he will satisfy me and show me his salvation. Right? And it says, as your days, so shall your strength be. So, don't hurry to go. He said he got to build a mansion.
I'm in a hurry.
I tell people, look, hello, my husband was a builder. I have no intention of going nowhere to build nothing. Jesus said he's going to prepare a mansion.
Mm-hmm.
I have no interest in doing construction on the other side.
No nail the hammer for you.
When my mansion is ready, he could call me. Don't call me before.
Did you hear Miss?
I want in the angel. What you say?
Did you hear Miss Leader's presentation just now?
Oh, yes. And I'm quite proud of what she's doing.
Yes.
I have an uncle over there. Miss Leader tell my uncle, Earl Osborne, his niece said, and he can make 93 this year, you know.
9 and 3.
So, you live long, live cool. And my aunt, his wife, she says she's pleased with the services that he's getting.
Wonderful, wonderful. Sometimes it's good for the folks to hear that.
You carry people and you can't sleep in peace because you're not too sure how they're getting through, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But when the wife or the children could say, I am pleased with the way he's being treated and so, then that is a plus. So, Ms. Leader, I want to thank you for taking good care of my uncle and all of the other residents. I know it's not easy. And nobody know the end, eh?
Nobody knows.
Now, some problems for the elderly. On Saturday evening, we had a meeting of the Association of Persons with Disabilities at the McKnight Community Center. And Mr. Eric Bell, Mr. Bell listening. Now, Mr. Bell is 86. You know, he used to be a taxi man. You know him, right?
Of course, yes.
Yes. He was saying, you know, he want one of these phones that could do WhatsApp.
Is he vision impaired?
Yeah, he's blind.
Yes, okay.
But, you know, he said, look, he want to do WhatsApp and so. And often the elderly have trouble in getting, you know, the old-time kind of phone where you could press the numbers I want.
Yes.
Flo and Digicel, they actually stopped bringing them in.
Hope they're listening.
I hope you're listening. And the landline that many of them can handle easily.
Are no longer popular.
They're popular with the elderly, you know.
Really? Okay.
But the companies are not maintaining their lines. Little rainfall, the phone won't work. And every time you ask them about buy a new phone. So you buy a new one and it still don't work.
I would think that those phones are more reliable, the landlines. Are they not?
Yeah, and how it cases they work.
Yes.
Once they're not, the handheld ones.
Okay.
Because, as I say, they generate their own, the company generates its own electricity for them.
Okay.
So I am calling upon Flo and Digicel and all who have cell phone. Please try and bring in some of these phones where you could press the number, because a lot of the elderly are not able to handle the modern phones unless you have somebody to teach you. Because they're not standard. I have one and the other day, look like it want to take a walk. I have a Samsung S7, not just 7. So I am looking for another phone.
Didn't you?
But I am saying that they could run one time Kasha. I think it's Makasha. Warner.
The caregiver?
Yes. She has services.
All right.
She had organized something for persons with disability at the ITC Center.
That's wonderful.
I think it was Flo who came, you know. They were trying to teach us how to use a phone. But some people did not own one. And some of you have grandchildren, you know. Some of your parents. Let your grandchildren teach the grandmother and auntie how to use the phone, because they want to call the people overseas too. Get them a phone. And the house phones. We want a house phone, but you have an elderly in here. I use my house phone a lot. I tell people, I often prefer for people to call me on my landline,
I got
465-3645.
I've got you two numbers.
I have a phone. You know, my number is 660-8842. But I still prefer to be called on my landline.
Okay.
So I am calling on Flo this morning because Flo is the only one that provides landline services. And it is very poor. Very poor. You're under the impression that they're trying to phase it out. But remember, the elderly and the disabled, often that is the only one they can use.
Okay. Of communication.
Some of them can't swipe, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I
trust they're listening, and I want to appreciate the information is vital for all the folks in that particular situation. Happy month of the elderly to you.
We need the landline maintained, man.
Okay.
It's a shame. All right.
Much appreciated. To Eli X, I hope you understand, is the caller. Why I didn't really rush you off, but we were waiting to get that contribution from Ms. Patridge's leader, so I hope you understand and you feel to call back and engage us. You're one of a regular caller and really, really appreciate it, okay? So I'm sorry you had to run off the phone. Given a chance, please call back. Let's talk. We got about, let's see what time it is now. 13 minutes down past the 1 o'clock hour, and we go straight to the phone lines. Caller, you're live on Voices.
The king without a crown. I am here.
He's in his own country. You're back.
Well,
Welcome back.
If I never had anything to say, at least I second the motion with Miss Henry, everything she said about the landline phone. Miss Henry, you are so correct. Politicians like X, but I ain't going to give you X and give you correct.
Corrects. Let's
Now,
go.
the king,
Yes, sir.
this thing, racism, especially against the color of your skin. Do you realize that has been going on way before the embryo that make me and you was ever going to make...
My take on that is grudge the grudge.
Definitely.
Plain and simple.
Because I can show you something. One time in St. Thomas over Cookie Point Beach by Cowell Wall.
No, it is.
Right. I was treading down on the beach and he had two Caucasian ladies they laying down on the back in the hot sun. And when I passed him, one of them stretched out her left hand, takes her right hand, and smooth it down on the right and the left hand and said, "Oh, we are getting there." I said, what?
No way.
I said, wait, hold on. I said, what do you mean by that? She said, yeah, we are coming close to you. I said, no. Sorry. I said, look, I born with this, and you born with that. Who no black already? Now go black again. You can't come like me. So you ain't getting no way. Case closed there.
And the story.
1936 Olympics in Berlin, West Germany. The last race of the day was the 100-yard sprint. Those days were yards, not meters. And the 8 lanes were occupied. 7 white men
Aryan
and
race,
1 black.
from the Aryan race.
Right. Jesse Owens was the black man from America.
The
And he win the race.
inferior. Right? Because the Aryan race were being portrayed with so-called Aryan as being superior in every way to all,
Right.
to the gypsies and all, especially the Negroid race. And what happened?
Well, here what happened. Jesse Owens did not just barely beat them, but he bowed in the head, Couple inches, he lead out in front. And on the victory podium, Jesse was in the middle on the gold medal section with 2 other complexion, different skin. And that wicked man, Hitler, when he placed the gold medal over the neck, he placed it over the bronze and the silver neck, and he shake the hand when done. But Jesse Owens who win the gold, me and your complexion,
He
he
refused
just
to shake
place
his
the thing
hand.
over the neck and no shake hand. So, this racism, over skin complexion.
But hear this now.
That,
Hear this. The disrespect to Jesse Owens didn't just stop in Germany. He disproved the theory of Hitler and those folks that they were superior. When he got back to the U.S., rather than celebrate him on the tremendous victory where he represented the U.S., you know what they did? They put him to race against horses and motorcycles.
Yes, I forget that. You know
Put
what I
him
mean?
to race against horses, like he's an animal, and against motorcycle.
Okay.
The goods. In track and field today, we dominate. In any field of endeavor, we dominate. So those who accept, well, we're inferior, you don't know what you're talking about.
And you know what I learned from a policeman in Kenya? He used to run. He the first man who did the 4 minute. I mean the 1 mile in sub 4 minutes. He named Kipchoge Keino. And I had my first car and I marked it on the door Keino. Keino. I was told by him that one of the reasons why black people so fast, because look at the shape of our foot below the knee. A black man calf closer up under the knee. And so that makes for speed.
Is that so?
Whereas the Caucasian people, the calf not up close up under the knee like ours. Okay. Look at it, go just see something. That's why the reason why black people so fast on our foot. Faster than them. But anyway, that's enough for today. Somebody else might want to get in. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Some people might say it's because, according to Chris Collins, it's because they had to run from the bull whip, the bull pistol. You have to have a humor. You got to have a humor here and there. Let's see what Chris Collins is saying. Yep.
Okay, then all the best one.
Chris Collins says, so why don't they try a German car? Our blacks have no knowledge of their history. That is so very true. Let's take an station break because we were kind of lax in that during the first half hour. We'll take that now and come back and continue discussion, okay?
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Are you ready to transform your bedroom into a haven of dreamy comfort and affordable luxury? Well, get ready because Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store Bedroom Set Sales Event is here. We believe that your bedroom should be your sanctuary. And we're making it easier than ever to make that dream a reality. During the entire month of October only, get 20% off all cash purchases on a wide range of exquisite bedroom sets. Hurry in today to Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store and let us help you create the bedroom of your dream. Don't miss out on this incredible dreamy comfort, affordable luxury bedroom set sales event and get 20% off all cash purchases, putting comfort and luxury within your reach. Remember, at Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store, we make dreams a reality. Don't wait. This event won't last forever. Visit us now. Terms and conditions apply.
Yes, we're back with the program, and we go straight to the phone lines. Caller, good day, you're live on Voices.
Yeah. Greetings from the King's son.
With respect, how are you, sir?
Okay. All right, we're going to step on the point with the elderly. What we do, we want to big up all the elders, all the path pavers, all the ancients. A lot of them is in my head right now, so I ain't going to call your name. I want to just big up everyone.
I hear you.
What we realize is that there's not enough respect for elders. There's not enough protection of elders.
I hear you.
There's not solidarity around elders. Yeah? And it needs to up. The state it's in right now, it can be much better. Yeah? And this is right across the board. Right across the board, we're seeing this. Yeah? And we pray that it will get to the point where it ought to be. Because without the ancient and the path pavers and the elders, yeah, the age, those below those age won't be here. The young ones won't be here. Yeah? So it need to get to the point where it ought to be. Yeah. And that should be done ASAP. There has been enough tardiness when it comes to giving elders the respect that is due. Yeah. Okay, we take in the concert. Yeah, what is name again? The one old music called Freedom Concert. What do you think it's one the name? You got it in your head, you got anything right in there on it?
Something 40. We made Junior Gong?
Yeah, this the concert. What is the name? Yeah, Junior Gong was the main act. What the PM office of the concert? What is the name? We writing about it,
Independent
so
Country 40. I didn't really get it. Jamster, can you help me there with what is the name of the Junior Gong concert? Freedom Concert. The Freedom Concert, it says.
I said, no, it's not freedom. The one over needs was freedom. But freedom was somewhere part in the world, but they twist it a different way. But anyhow, we got to take it in. We give thanks to them for them to give it to us, and we got to take it in, you know. We give thanks for the local acts that was there, and Junior Gang go on, he did his best. Yeah, he could have given us a next half an hour, the show could have gone on a little bit more. And even with the local acts, the jump up part could have gone down a little bit more because the people in the bar still had a whole heap of thing. But listen now, talking about respect for elders. There has been a lot of sounds that someone like Crucial Banky, yeah, should have been, because he's here right now. I saw him a while ago. Yeah, we heard him on an interview and we saw him a while ago, so he's still in the land. Someone like Crucial Banky should have been on that show. And we want to echo that. Yeah? And it's just talking about respect a while, the lack of respect. King of Dana in his own territory.
Eli X.
In his own territory.
Eli
and
X.
Somebody like Banky, listen, when we there Jamaica in a brethren, you listen me good?
Yes.
We there Jamaica and me around entertainers whom we does there around. People like Tony Rebel and the crew, Luciana and the crew. Buju, well, them Buju no sink his little bit, because Zanya so he come and get converted into Rastafari, being around Zamba. So when me around them people there, me draw for Crucial Banky. Me play a Crucial Banky. All of them, the place turned silent. And they ask me each shooter, who that? I tell them it's a man from Blanc, my little island. Yeah, they marvel. You see me? So, we say Crucial Banky have been stats. Him up there when he come to the music. Yeah? And we for big him up, because yes, I'm from. And a man like him, he deb out, and he should have been contacted and been on that show. Even paved the way for when Junior Gang go up on the stage.
Eli X.
Yeah?
I am of the opinion, and I said it to Jamster earlier, there's no way that local should be a supporting act on that show. An independent show, or 40th, homegrown talent should spearhead. I was thinking of Coach Bank, but he should have been headlining that show. Independence. People who have 40 years, and you have to bring in a foreign act. What are you thinking? You have the local talent. Look at him. Let him headline the act.
All right. A Jamaica Gang come from. Remember that.
I understand that, but I'm saying you're not going to find any condition headlining any act for Jamaica independence.
Me hear you. And me don't disagree with you.
We have the talent here. Show them the respect.
Yes. Indeed. And Banky. So me hear somebody calling and try to make a competition between Banky and Crucial. I mean, Banky and nobody. Me not go there. Because in the music, there's no competition. It's just everybody on the level, you know. But me say, yeah, I mean, a man like Banky, this is party. Sure. We're missing the boat over and over and over. And that's why I'm saying, we keep saying, you know, that it is important for the right places to be in the right places.
Correct.
Because decisions, that dictate decisions and choices. Yeah? And a man like Banky should have been on that show.
Headlining.
Yes. And give him a nice money. Yeah, if money I want. Yeah. So we just wanted to say that. Blessed love.
And I appreciate
that. Big up nobody special. We want to heal up Mr. Skerritt. We love you. We love you like how Jesus loved little children.
Miss Sister Agnes
Blessed
Skerritt.
love, my brother. Give thanks for the time.
Okay, appreciate that. So, of course, thanks for the reminder about Miss Skerritt. She was here with us a few months ago with her daughter, Dr. Lisa Skerritt, on the show. And the feedback from folks around the world, like Chris Collins up there, was tremendous. Good to hear from you. Good to see you via the stream. I want to say, I'm not going to say happy elderly, but to Miss Skerritt and her daughter, wishing you all the best. All the best every time. Okay? We got about 3 minutes before we wrap things up. We have enough to take in this call. If anybody's quick on the trigger, taking this call. If not, we have a little chit chat. It's the month of the elderly, and we've had a contribution. We have many contributions, but more importantly, we have one from Miss Patricia Leader, the owner and manager of the Grange, speaking about the service down there, the level, I would call it a love circle, and the appreciation from her heart that she's given to caring for the elderly here in the Federation, being born here, having traveled abroad, and given that level of service out there, thought it best to come home and provide it here. We have the concerns about not enough is being done for the elderly around town in terms of providing proper parking, handicap areas, elevators in building, etc., etc. We must be progressive in our outlook in terms of building a modern Bastia and take these points from the public into consideration. We want to thank Carl Brown for his contribution, Culture, Sister Henry, Eli X, all the other folks. Other chap who spoke about the Israel accommodating the folks from Venezuela and why they have oil. They have oil. And everybody is trying to get control. So you find some years ago, a few short years ago, people from Guyana were not allowed visas to go to the States. Now they have oil. They get the visas. So one have to look at that. One have to look at that. They have oil now. And Chevron, yes, to go to the U.S. You got oil, we expect. we have our last caller. Oh, gosh. Give me a chance to get back in. Good to call you live on Voices. We got about 2 minutes, so let's hear what you have to say.
Yes, the King.
Carl
here again.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me.
The King, this month, also financial month.
Literacy month?
No, to do with the finances. That's why you had the bank and thing on. This month is the month of financial service.
Okay.
Now, the King, they're saying this month is the month of the elderly. How much businesses around town is going to give the elderly 10, 20, 30%, 40%,
discount,
even up to 60% off for the whole of this month?
That's a good point.
For all of the contribution they have made to bring us here where we are. And the elderly has been supporting the business from last year October to this year October. How about 60% off for all the elderly? And you say those who are reach retirement age, say 62 or whatever, or 55, from those who are 55 up.
Here's
when
what.
you come into our business, we'll give you 60% off of anything you buy.
Here's what. We're going to leave that conversation to be continued during the next presentation of Voices. We are out of time.
Yeah, we'll do that one Wednesday.
For your contribution. And also, I want to hear from you about the monkey solution.
Oh yes, man. Yes, man. We'll deal with that Wednesday.
Until then, for all our viewers, listeners, and those who made a contribution, thank you so very much. Bag of sugar. I'm heading out to where I say I'm going to head, and we shall talk another time, okay? Thank you so very much. See you guys on Wednesday, God's willing.
Found the sound 98.9 Win FM.
Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is again giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash back for free groceries with every hire purchase. Will be given back this coupon season. Happening now. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash back coupons to all our hire purchases